So is the applicant here and listening? I see a John
Yeah,
and a Joe. Okay.
Joe Brown is here.
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay,
So
just checking.
Joe, you represent this project?
Yeah, Dave Hunter is probably going to be jumping on as well if he's not already. Josh Parkins with Harris Architect.
Yeah.
And myself.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, cool. So here's how it works. I think you guys have probably done this before, but I'm going to read a giant intro that kind of talks about COVID stuff.
okay.
And then what we'll do is we'll have you guys kind of present, show us some of the details, talk about what you're doing and why. And then we'll do a little bit of a Q&A between the board and you guys. So the committee, excuse me, and you guys. And then once that Q&A ends, we'll see if there's any public comment. And then the committee, design review committee, will decide if we want to make any changes, recommendations, or just approve it. So that's kind of what we expect. So I will dive into reading our COVID document. Provo City Design Review, the chair's statement, Reopen and Public Meetings Act. In accordance with Utah's Open and Public Meetings Act, I have determined that conducting meetings of the Provo City Design Review with an anchor location such as the council chambers presents a substantial risk to the health and safety of those who may be present there. These are the facts upon which I've made this determination. The World Health Organization has classified novel coronavirus, aka COVID-19, as a pandemic. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention state that COVID-19 is easily spread from person to person between people who are in close contact with one another. The State Public Health Order 2021-5 addresses the ongoing COVID-19 public health emergency and establishes minimum standards to address the unique circumstances in different locations. Utah County is currently listed as having a high level of coronavirus transmission. I will update that was changed today. We're no longer a high level, but we're a moderate level of coronavirus transmission as determined by the state's transmission index metrics. Physical distancing measures will be difficult to set up and maintain in the council chambers and other meeting rooms. Therefore, for the next 30 days, all meetings of the Provo City Design Review will be conducted entirely via electronic means. Meetings are broadcast live and available later on demand at youtube.com/user/Provo Channel 17, number 17, Provo Channel 17, and at facebook.com/Provo Channel 17. Agendas and support materials are available at provo.org/design review. To make a public comment or to join a meeting via telephone, follow the instructions provided on public notices of each meeting. To send comments to the Provo City Design Review members or weigh in on current issues, email them to dspublichearings@provo.org. That's Delta Sam publichearings@provo.org.
That's good, Quinn.
Okay.
So let me just quickly introduce the first item here and why we're meeting again. So item 1 is Silverado Management. Dave Hunter requests design review approval for revisions made on an approved apartment complex in the campus mixed-use zone located at 1900 North Kenyon Road in the Pleasant View neighborhood. So it was actually approved over a year ago, and I'll show you what was approved. It was this set that was approved by the design review committee. So you can kind of see the 4 different elevations there. In the process of going through the planning commission hearing, city council, and now in the construction documents, they've changed up some things. So because they've changed things to a certain degree, it has to come back to the design review committee for a reapproval. So With that, I will turn the time over to the applicants, and I can bring up any of these the new elevations or landscape drawings that you want.
Okay, so this is Dave Hunter speaking from Silverado Management. Josh Parkin is on the line, who's the architect, and Joe Brown is on the line, who's a partner. From an aesthetic standpoint, from everything, nothing has changed except we've gone from a 6-story building, one being the basement, to a 5-story building with one being the basement, and whatever that aesthetically changed by lobbing off a story is all that has changed. The materials are still the same. The eyebrows on the corner, which we think is one of the important elements, all of that is still the exact same. So, and it was the city council, and in cooperation with the neighborhood is why we lobbed a story off of the building. And it eventually came down through the negotiation and the compromises that we took the story off the building.
I'm sorry you had to do that.
Mr. Hunter, if I can just kind of reply to that. So I have up on the screen, can everybody see this black and white elevation?
Yes.
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 I have up on the screen what was approved. And then the reason we're bringing it back is because this looks pretty different. The way the materials are organized on the building. And that's why we're bringing it through. The story was taken off through the Plan Commission, but the organization of materials has kind of changed, as you can see when I'm looking back between these two sets.
And Aaron, this is Josh Parkin with Harris Architecture. One of the reasons why the materials that you're seeing from the version, it's the previous version and what's been presented now is also based off of Public Works. We needed to move the building so that it was 25 feet or 20 feet away from the power poles on the south side. And so when we had to do that, we had to take some square footage out of the building, which didn't allow us to have the length that we needed there. And so we had to move that entry from that south side and rotate it to the west side there. And that's the difference that you're probably seeing, is not only is that entry had to move, but also we kind of had to squish it to accommodate Public Works as well.
No, I appreciate that. I just wanted to make clear that there are actual architectural differences between the two sets and point that out to the design review committee.
Okay. Let's see. Committee members. Let's see. Is James on here? Yeah. James, do you have any comments? Carol, do you have any concerns?
No.
We have, can we get a little more detail on what the colors represent materially? I wasn't on the committee when this came up the first time.
Yeah. So is this a stucco and brick? Is this a cement? Is it?
There, can you see that, James?
The area right there would be a stucco, and then we do have some box metal where we're leadering over to, and then that wood grain cement board panel. I actually have a sample right here of it that will go up underneath the eyebrow. So there'll be a mixture of cement board hardy reveal panel, stucco, a brick veneer, and then some of those little areas with the box metal, and then obviously that accent of the wood paneling there.
Okay. So the brick and the stucco are all grayscale essentially, and then just there's the wood trim kind of on the corner there. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Is Phil on here? Does he have any questions about landscaping?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
No, I don't believe so. I reviewed it earlier.
Okay.
So, I do have one question though about the elevation we were just looking at, down at the right-hand end, that shot right there, the brown vertical, what is that?
So that was the same. That was a sample he just showed us. It's a wood grain cement board. In fact, I think, sorry, I need to see, was it Joe? Were you the one that showed that, or
Josh.
Josh?
It was Josh. Yeah. So it's a cement board panel right here, and then you can see that it's just and it's actually the color it's represented on the screen. This is, and so that's kind of a wood texture on the outside of it. Really great stuff. So
Did you see that, Phil?
Yeah, but does it occur elsewhere on the facade of the building?
it does on any of the soffit areas that we have there. That's where we have that. So it's on that corner primarily on that elevation. Some of the elevations around the other sides has that accent as well. We wanted to use it in moderation and really kind of showcase that as where the rest of the building is relatively monochromatic, and then just have that as an accent for there. So
Okay, thank you.
Okay. James, Carol, are we anything else, or do we want to just try and make a motion?
No, how many units will there be? I don't remember this from a year ago. And are they 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom? Give a little update on that, please.
It was approved for 121 units, and it's still 121 units, and they're all pretty. There's a little bit of variation in the size, but they're all 1 bedroom units.
We don't need to talk about the units. We're just looking at the architecture and the landscaping.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I just was curious. So really you're looking at BYU students, I'm assuming.
And again, because of federal regulations, we can't say what it is, but we're assuming it's going to be married BYU students.
Okay, thank you.
Let's quickly check and see if there's any public comment. No.
No public comments at this time. 30 seconds.
Okay. I'm going to use a stopwatch this time.
So, do we have the neighborhood chair at all?
I don't see Paul on here, but I don't think he's on.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Nah, anything?
No public comments.
Okay.
I only have one question. I don't think that it's critical or anything. If we go back to the elevations, just curious about the treatment. So on the west side elevation in the bottom right, the wood appears to wrap along the soffit down to the ground level everywhere else, but there it looks like it's stopping.
Yeah.
Just curious, like, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but curious why that detail is different than over on the south elevation there.
So if you look on the pretty much where his cursor is, what that does is that it comes down to where you're seeing it, and then it goes over above to the right a little bit. It's like an entry there. And so what that soffit's doing is it actually covers the entry into the building. And so it doesn't come all the way down on that one side. So right underneath where that hand is.
Okay, got it. So it's floating and ending at that point. There, yeah. Perfect. Okay, cool. Thanks for helping me understand that.
Okay. I don't think there are any concerns. Maybe we want a motion for approval, but does anyone disagree?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Aaron, do you need anything else from us?
No, just motion to adjourn.
Okay. Sure. Is that a real
Thank you.
We appreciate everybody.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.